Hello. In this video tutorial, we will go into more depth about EcoWB's project standards and our active areas of interest. For an introduction on proposing your project to EcoWB and submitting a letter of interest, please review our other video tutorial, Proposing Your Project to EcoWB. So, what is an EcoWB project? We specialize in connecting changemakers with our professional support network of volunteers to create and execute ecological projects around the world. In general, an EcoWB project is a set of activities that responds to an ecological problem or need. Projects are defined by a specific scope, including objectives, geographic area, a set timeline, and desired outcomes. Our projects are goal-oriented, scientifically sound, and community-powered projects in conservation, restoration, and resource management that benefit both humans and nature. First, let's review the basic criteria. To be considered for EcoWB support, a project should ideally meet all of the following criteria. It results in both environmentally and socially beneficial outcomes. It advances scientific knowledge, promotes the conservation of ecosystems, and encourages socially equitable use of natural resources. It protects or restores the living and non-living components of natural or semi-natural ecosystems. It improves the capacity of local communities to steward natural resources and promote well-being through collaboration and partnerships, economic opportunities, research, or technology. And finally, it relies on significant involvement of the affected community and local partners and respects local knowledge, traditions, beliefs, and regulations. In addition, to uphold EcoWB's mission and avoid potentially harmful environmental or social impacts, EcoWB projects should meet these additional project standards if applicable. Be consistent with the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the Aichi biodiversity targets as defined by the Convention on Biological Diversity. Work to conserve the environment and avoid negative impacts to native ecosystems and species. For example, projects must avoid any activities that contribute to climate change or the loss of biodiversity. Promote the conservation and extension of large, non-fragmented natural areas to ensure the long-term survival of all its living organisms. Minimize the introduction, spread, and impact of invasive or non-native species. Promote social equity, sustainability, and the preservation of natural capital. And finally, evaluate the risk of project failure and of unwanted impacts to natural and human systems, both on a local scale and globally. Risk mitigation measures should be carefully developed and followed if needed. Next, let's discuss who can submit an application. Previous projects have come from professional environmental consulting firms, local NGOs, students and professors pursuing research, activists, Peace Corps volunteers, and people like yourself who are trying to figure out how to realize change on a community-scale ecological problem that they care about. We welcome proposals from both independent volunteers and other organizations. Every proposal must be supported by a host organization directly connected to the project area and scope. The host receives EcoWB volunteers and services directly and is the party responsible for project activities. This means that the organization's decision makers should be consulted about your application, approve of the idea, and be informed about the process. If your project meets these project standards, we would encourage you to submit a request for a basic consultation or a letter of interest. Please note that priority may be given to projects within our active areas of interest. We are currently interested in developing projects in these areas: sustainable natural resource use, such as sustainable fishing or aquaculture, environmental or social entrepreneurship to benefit a local community, community-led conservation, either aquatic or terrestrial, community-focused environmental restoration, biodiversity research or the support of endangered or threatened species or populations, agriculture, including permaculture, soil productivity or agroecology, renewable energy, reducing plastic use and pollution, sustainable ecotourism, ecology-centered education and outreach projects for youth or the community, and application of traditional knowledge to restore or manage the natural environment. If your project is not included in these active areas of interest, but meets our project standards and you would like to submit a letter of interest, please be sure to describe how your project fulfills our criteria and furthers our organization's mission. Thank you for watching. For more information, we have created a prospective project maker fact sheet to answer any questions you may have about our process. We look forward to learning more about your project.